Hey y'all, it's your girl Millie Chun. Let's get into the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Let's go. Before we get started, how beautiful is Joe and Melissa's new home? They're getting ready to have a housewarming. It is absolutely gorgeous. So Melissa and Joe are talking to Antonio because they're feeling the effects of her being away. And then after they say goodbye to her, she gets to telling him about the brunch. She's telling him how Danielle is kind of feeling like she may have Teresa's and Jennifer's back, but they may not have hers. And then she told him what's really shocking is that Teresa and Jackie are friends. Joe could not believe that. And I agree with Melissa. Because Jackie is not feeling Margaret, now Teresa is trying to be her friend. So Teresa talking about it doesn't matter who you're friends with, you should just be friends who you want to be with. That's some BS. So Jackie is over to Teresa's, right? She says she wants to be around people who are fun and lighthearted, right? And then she goes on to say that, her and Teresa have been good for about 2 weeks. Teresa says she wants to be around powerful women. And she just wanted Jackie to stand up for herself. After you told people that Jackie's husband was cheating on her? Okay. So Rachel is talking to Marge and John comes in and she's telling her about the argument between her and Teresa. And she's saying how Teresa had said that her husband was, not is, he was the biggest street pharmacist in their county. So Rachel really can't understand why Teresa would even bring it up, right? And then she says, doesn't your husband park cars? So Marge says, isn't her husband unemployed and mooches off of her? This is not going to end well. Dolores needs to go back and get in the car and move, right? They're going to lunch and she brings up the practice proposal with Frank, right, last week. And that's a way to segue into her talking to him about his divorce. So she was like, we can't start something if you haven't finished something. Paulie says, what do you think I'm going to do? Get divorced and then get on my knee and propose to you? Dolores, you need to go. So then he asks her, like, are you angry? Because Dolores said, how much longer is this going to take? Right? And then she was like, I'm not new to this. Y'all remember when she was with David and they built a house together? She would not move in with him because they were not engaged. She has moved in and living with this man and he's still married. And he said it takes about 3 years and we have to do stuff with property. Then when she was looking at him crazy, he said, if this is not going as fast as you like, then maybe you should have a change of mind. Dolores, you've been a side chick long enough. Get your stuff and move out. Danielle is getting ready for her New York fashion show premiere for her kids brand. And she said that Melissa's going to be there because Melissa has experience in this department. And she said her mother's not going to be there because she's on a cruise and she's not talking to her dad. We still don't know what's going on there, so we're going to keep going. So Marge is doing a charity with golfing, right? So they've gotten together, they're passing drinks out to all the golfers, and then they get out and they have a conversation. And Melissa is having a housewarming and she's asking everybody if they're going to be there. So then she kind of says that I've invited Jackie. I think that's more towards Marge because they don't get along. And then she also said that she invited Jennifer because they're trying to start over. Of course, Marge has something to say, but this is what Melissa is doing. So Dolores is telling the girls about the conversation she had with Paulie and how he said, do you think we're going to get married after I get a divorce? Marge chimes in and pretty much says, why not? She said, when my divorce was final, me and Joe got married in a week. Lock it down. Because it doesn't take much. And then she says, I don't need a huge ring. I need a huge ring. I don't need a huge wedding. If that's something you want, Dolores, then you should get with someone who's going to give that to you, right? Instead of holding on to a man who's still married and you hope he signs the papers. Then Paulie's out here golfing with the guys and Joy's like, are you divorced yet? Is Dolores kind of pressing you? He was like, Dolores knows what it is. She knows something is there, so she's happy, but she's not. He's lying to them. So he goes on to tell the men that he and Dolores is going to go into business together. Electrical, flipping houses, Like, this is how he envisions their future together. Dolores wants a ring. She wants to get engaged. She wants to get married. But this is what's going to solidify them as a couple. No, a marriage certificate will solidify you as a couple. He is on some BS. So we're here at Fashion Week. Danielle is backstage. She hears her music come on. And then she's trying to gather the kids together. She's a little nervous, but they get down the runway. So the kids get down the runway. The clothes look good. Danielle looked great. Bougie Kids was a success. She was very emotional. Her husband said he was very proud of her. This is a good look. Teresa and Louie in the backyard getting ready to do yoga, right? Because they're getting ready to meet up with John and Rachel. She said, we're going to be calm and we're not going to let anyone disturb our peace. Which peace? I love John Fuda. He's giving me Tony Soprano vibes, and I am here for it, right? So what has happened is Louie called Paulie to see if Paulie could set up a meeting with John and Rachel for him and Teresa because they want to hash things out. I think this is going to go left. So what John wants out of this meeting, he wants a public apology from Teresa for calling him a park attendant and also a street pharmacist. Good luck. Now, Teresa has said John Fugazi. It's already going bad. Why are you calling that man a Fugazi? She said she cannot believe that he is demanding her to apologize, right? She and Louie are the bigger people. Since when, Teresa? Is it just me or Louie is just a creepy individual, right? He seems like he's always up to something and he's trying to get something for nothing. That's what he gives me. And why would you want to be friends with John Fuda after you done had that man investigated? He really not trying to fool with you. But let's see how this goes. John said this meeting is going to go great or really far to the left. And I think it's going to go really far to the left, right? But Teresa wants an apology from him to Louie. Let's just get to it. So everybody's seated, right? And it started already. John was like, well, who should start? Louie said, you should start. He said, I don't see why I should start. So Teresa broke that up a little bit and said this. So this right here is a housewarming gift for her brother and Melissa because she's not going to the housewarming, right? This is the saddest part of this to me, that her and Joe are not close. So she's giving Rachel a gift to take to Melissa's housewarming. So John said, Teresa, basically, because of your brother is the reason I'm here, because I respect him. Teresa was like, well, I thought you respected me at one time, right? And she said, I never had a problem with you. Rachel says, I don't believe you really want to be my friend. Then Teresa goes, well, I think you feel like if you're friends with someone, then you can't be friends with me. And she's like, no, I don't think like that at all. Teresa's like, oh no, being Teresa. John Fuda is giving me all gangster that I need, right? So Teresa's like, John, I felt like I had a connection with you. He is so cool, and he's leaned back, and he's like, what changed? What changed? What changed to the fact that you would say that I was a street pharmacist? She was like, I didn't say currently. I said your past. John was like, are you sure? Then Teresa stuttering, are you sure? And when he said, what verb did you use? I knew right there he had lost her. I love it. So then Rachel chimes in and she was like, it doesn't matter if he is or was. My problem is you put it out in the universe. Teresa being Teresa, I didn't put it out in the universe. It was already in the universe. Teresa, if it's out there, that doesn't mean for you to say it. Take accountability, ma'am. John said, you know what? Forget all this, what you talking about. I came here for an apology, right? That's what I came here for, and I'm not getting that right now. Teresa's like, did you not hear me say you apologize? John doesn't think it's genuine. Baby, John is running it down to Teresa and putting her in her place, might I add. He told her that you took your information from someone who is currently in jail, who used to manufacture crystal, you know what. And she's like, no, stop. That's Jaden's mom. Rachel chimes in and says, no, I'm Jaden's mom. Nice to meet you. Baby, I love them. Child, John is running his ex down to Teresa, mainly letting Teresa know you need to mind your business. And then he says, I came here for an apology. What? So then Teresa says, you owe my husband an apology. He said it's not going to be a tit for tat. Teresa said, yes, he is. John said, you know what? Conversation over. And they get ready to get up. John said, I came here for an apology. I didn't get it. Then on his way out, Teresa says, goodbye, John Fugazi. He turns around and says, you are the poster child for mortgage fraud. And that always stumps Teresa. I don't care what she said after that. It was over. I can't wait till next week. Bye, y'all. It's your girl, Millie Chun.